What is going on, YouTube world? We are KRT LYFE. I'm your brother Reza, this is your sister Kat. And today's vlog is about going back to basics. Back to basics vlogging. So what do we mean by back to basics? Well, we're gonna pretty much tell you where we started as far as equipment, where we are now, and where we are going in the future as far as what we use to vlog and our vlogging setup and all that kind of cool stuff like that. And where did we start?
Right here.
Ooh, what is this?
iPhone 7 Plus. That was our very first tool with the Filmic Pro app that we shot first 3 or 4 videos on.
Yeah,
That's
and
it.
you can go back and you can watch those videos and see what we did with those and see how tragic those videos are in comparison to what we shoot nowadays. But we quickly outgrew the iPhone 7 and then we started using the Panasonic G7. And the Panasonic G7 stuck around for about a good 2 months, I think maybe like
About
1 or
so.
2 vlogs. And then we quickly realized that we needed something with video stabilization, and the G7 wasn't gonna cut it because the body's not stabilized on that camera, although it can take good pictures. So I did some more research and I was like, oh, GX8. So that's when we got this behemoth, not really behemoth, this miniature tank of a camera. This is the Panasonic GX8 with a cage on it. And it was good, but it wasn't great because...
For me, it's a weight because the camera is small and light. But by the time you attach everything you need to attach to it, it turns into a pretty heavy tool to carry around. And after about 5 to 7 minutes, my arm and my shoulder started to shake.
Yeah. So think of it in these terms. You start off with just the camera body, which is relatively light. Then you add this aluminum rail, and the aluminum rail adds a little bit of weight. And then you add lenses. And when you add lenses, boy, do you add a lot of lens. So let me go through the lenses that we have to carry around with this camera. The first lens that we use, let's see, I'll grab this one right here. Boom. I'll start off with the worst. This one right here is the 25mm Lumix lens. It's supposed to be the equivalent of a 50mm, but it doesn't do anything that a real 50mm does. It doesn't give you that nice depth of field and bokeh in the background, and it doesn't, like, it's a very mediocre lens. Skip this lens, it's not stabilized. I can just tell you a lot of reasons not to buy that lens. And then after that is this one right here, the zoom lens. This is a 45 through 150. This lens is great. Like, this lens can reach out and touch someone. It's stabilized, and it looks really good. It looks pretty clear. I like this lens, even though we didn't use this lens very much.
We used that when we were driving in Iceland, and actually was pretty impressive when we drove, and we were driving pretty fast. I could take pictures of things pretty far, and they were pretty good pictures.
Yeah. And then that brings us to our darling 42.5. Like, we love this lens with all of our heart. I mean, it takes some of the sharpest images I've ever gotten with this camera setup has been with this lens, and it's great for portraits. It's great for like a wide range of things, but this lens is just amazing. It's stabilized.
It's
I
our
highly
major
recommend this
tool
lens.
for all
Yeah.
our IG.
Yes,
You know.
this lens all day. And then the last but not least is the baby, the big baby. This is a 12-35 wide lens. This is the lens that we use for like vlogging and, like, you know, turning your camera around on yourself like this. This gets a really, really wide angle field of view, and it's a great lens. It's stabilized, but it lacks in a lot of things. Like, it's stabilized, but it's not smooth, and it's heavy. Like, this lens right here by itself is almost as heavy as its camera. It's a lot of glass in here, people. Look at this. There's a lot going on there. So
that's not all the things you get it to attach to it. You still have a microphone, which is light, but you know, when you add all the little things, then you have a light. We didn't bring our little light.
we didn't bring our little light.
Well, we have
batteries.
a little light that goes on there, and then you have to tow around. This is
All these
1, 2, 3,
batteries.
4, 5 batteries.
Minimum.
Obviously, you put one in, but all the little things get to add on it, and it gets pretty heavy.
It gets very heavy. It gets very heavy very fast.
Yes.
So poking around on the internet, I'm one of those people that's always trying to find a better way to do something. And somehow we stumbled upon moment lenses. And when we got the moment lenses, we were like, oh, okay, well, this is good, but I think we really, really fell in love with the moment lens after my other phone was stolen.
I came across the Moment lens where I first learned about Moment lens back when we just were starting, because I watched a bunch of YouTube videos on the tutorials, tools, and all the other stuff that vloggers use. But in my mind, I could not see how the phone with the lens would perform better than the actual camera. But eventually we went back to it, and that's how we end up.
Yeah, so I ended up trying the Moment lens, and the first one I got was 18mm wide angle lens. And it was decent on the iPhone 7 Plus, but like I said, after my phone was stolen with my G-Wagon, and I was forced to get a new phone, I got the iPhone XR. Yeah, that's what it's called, the XR. And the XR combined with the Moment lens is a phenomenal combination.
Amazing.
In fact, that's what we're recording with right now.
Yes.
So I guess without further ado, we will take you outside and show you some footage.
Side by side.
Ready, set, go! You got to see the side-by-side comparison of the Moment lens, the 18mm wide, and the anamorphic,
yes,
versus what we did with this right here, the GX8, and all of this other equipment that you need to make this thing do what it does. But yeah, I mean, when you look at this, okay, we're gonna talk about pros and cons real quick. Boom, pros and cons. All right, this is everything that you gotta carry with you if you're gonna use this. If you're gonna use the Moment setup, you take this and that. Almost no brainer, right?
This is like a joke, for real.
It's hilarious. So, pros and cons. Let's go through it pretty quickly. All right. So, do you want to go through the list that we wrote?
Yeah, I guess.
Let's pull a list into the frame. We don't care. Like, look, hey, we're doing this thing.
A lot of things on here.
We need notes. So, pros. Number one, AirDrop. Psh.
No, number one for me, by far, is the weight.
Yes, the weight.
The weight is just phenomenal. It's so much, literally you carry in your phone. That's it. That's all you carry versus all of this.
Yeah.
So for me, I can't beat that.
All right. So the weight, number one. I mean, it's like night and day. When you're traveling internationally and you have to like carry all this stuff, it adds up quick. AirDrop, oh god, AirDrop is a savior. Like when AirDrop works, it works amazing, and it's better than having to keep up with cards and what was where and boom boom.
Yes.
Using all those different devices, that sucked. Like filming on this and then filming on the phone.
And I know it's gonna happen. Like when we went to Cali, which we're gonna release that video soon, we happened to shoot on 4 different things.
Yeah,
because we shot on this, we shot on 2 different phones because we were driving, so one person drives, another person films, and of course the drone.
And the GoPro.
And the GoPro, which is, 5.
Yeah.
And it makes it so much harder when you start like going through your footage and edit.
Yeah.
Now you have everything on one device.
In chronological order.
Exactly.
Which makes it so easy to edit.
Yes.
So yeah, that's AirDrop. Your phone is waterproof. Like That's a no-brainer. The microphone, okay, the microphone on the 7 is not so hot, but the microphone on this XR,
they stepped their
great.
game up on this.
And then
one,
when you
sure.
combine that with the Rode Micro, oh man, the audio quality is legit. It's lighter, it's smaller. We already said that. The quality. What about the quality? What do you think?
To me, comparing the footage that we had from the Lumix or Panasonic, whatever, versus the phone, the new phone, the XR with the moment lens, I think it's really comparable. When you shot your footage on one of the rooftops of the buildings when he was at work, it looked super sharp to me. It didn't look any worse than you would shoot it on the actual camera.
Yeah, to me, it's good. I can see like on the edges where I forget what they call it, chromatic aggravations or whatever it's called. You can see vignetting or whatever on the edge of it, on the very ends of it, with the wide lens. But to me, I feel like I just can't justify carrying this anymore. Like it's like in between a phone and in between getting like a Sony A7 or something like that. You know what I mean?
And it makes it a lot smoother too. No matter how hard you try with this camera and how much stabilization you have, you still can see that a little bit of shakiness. The phone looks so much smoother.
Very smooth, and that's without a gimbal, mind you.
Exactly.
What else? So, comparable quality, the moment lenses are awesome.
Obviously, the wide angle on the lens, when you put it on one of these little tripods, like kind of like a selfie stick sort of, it covers so much around you.
Yeah.
There's so much in the shot, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it really encompasses your environment. So let's talk about some of the cons real quick.
Well, somebody can call you.
So that's why you gotta put it on, what do they call it? Airplane
mode, which is what we're doing now.
Image quality is like, if you're gonna compare this to like one of those big full frame DSLR cameras, image quality obviously isn't gonna be as good as that. But I felt like, what's that guy's name? Casey Neistat says, what's that guy's name? Everybody knows Casey. Like Casey says, it's not about what you're filming with, it's about the story that you're telling. And originally, when he said that, and I was watching some of his vlogs when we first started,
he was very skeptical about it. He was like, no, you carry this big camera and it's all this. And I've heard that several times from him.
Yeah.
But
now, I honestly am a believer in that. Like, it's the story you're telling, not necessarily what you're filming that story with, and how you utilize the tools that you have, and if you use them to the best of their ability, and know what you're doing with the with the tools that you have, you can get phenomenal events. And you can go out there and blow $5,000 on a DSLR, but if you don't know how to utilize that thing to its strengths,
there's no point.
There's no point in it. So what else? Depth of field. You can't really get good depth of field with an iPhone because the science of light and all that kind of stuff. Like they're trying to, you got the artificial software depth of field, but you don't get true depth of field like you can get with a real camera. And what else?
A few issues we had while we were filming this, that this camera turned off twice on us after 30 seconds. For some reason it timed out and it just locked itself.
I think it was a software glitch with the phone, but I mean, You're dealing with the phone and you don't really have a flip out monitor. We were gonna use my Apple Watch as a flip out monitor, but we just ended up rebooting the phone and everything's been fine so far.
Which is another thing I don't really like, the whole flip out monitor, because it's nice to see where you're at in the shot, but also with this lens,
it's so wide,
it's so wide that you are in the shot. You should, there is no way you cannot be unless you face in a completely opposite direction.
Exactly. So to summarize everything, our workflow pretty much went from, let's see, boom, we'll just use this as a stand-in. This is what we're actually going to use. That and this. You got to have this.
And this is not even showing you guys the actual big tripod that we also towed around for pictures or any other videos.
But we pretty much did like this. It made our workflow a lot easier.
Majority of weight as well went that way. When we travel now, Reza actually now have room for clothes in his suitcase.
Instead of just camera gear and battery and charging devices and all that kind of stuff.
When we travel, you guys, I don't know if anybody saw our previous videos, we travel very light. We only do carry on no matter where we go. I'm talking about overseas, 3 to 4 countries in one trip. It's still going to be one suitcase per person and it's a carry-on. So whatever doesn't fit stays.
It stays, yeah. So now we're traveling lighter, we're traveling leaner, we're traveling better, and we're still gonna be able to give y'all very good quality. And now we can actually work on the story instead of focusing on equipment.
Exactly.
So that's
And we
pretty
can save
much,
some money.
and we can save some money. Oh yeah, when I sell all this stuff, yeah, I'm about to save some serious money.
Do you have anything to say though about the pictures? Because we do take pictures on that camera, and I think we are planning on getting rid of that camera for the time being until we get something a lot better. But what about the pictures?
So I plan to become one of those iPhone photography warriors for a while, and really like try my best to get the most out of my iPhone. And there are lots of different ways you can do that. There's lots of vlogs you can watch about doing that. But I took a picture. We posted a picture on Instagram Thursday, and that picture just
came out really good.
It came out really good, and it just ramped up likes like that. So it is possible to take really good pictures with your iPhone, but you have to know what you're doing, and you have to utilize its strengths and not its weaknesses. Like obviously don't go shoot out in the dark with the iPhone because that's one of its weaknesses. But yeah, I think that once we get this other moment lens, the telephoto lens, and so we can zoom in a little bit without using the fake digital zoom, I think that we're gonna be able to get some phenomenal pictures just with the iPhone. And yeah, I mean, if all else fails, I always get my what is that thing called? My Nikon.
That's true. Speaking of IG, if you guys haven't checked out IG, please check it out. It's right here.
KRT LYFE, KRT LYFE with the Y.
We're gonna try to do these pictures now on this iPhone. So let us know what you think. If you see the difference in the quality, or if anybody have any tips, shoot us the comment.
Yep. So that's going to close this vlog. Cleaning up the workflow, back to basics. Look how much lighter and easier we're going to be traveling now.
I'm so excited. You have no idea. I can actually hold the camera.
She can actually hold the tripod now. KRT LYFE with the Y. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Heart. We love y'all. Hope y'all love us. Peace. Later.
See you later.
I always run off.
I'm staying. I can't run that fast. My legs hurt.